Faye. No, it's id now. Heh, you've come to die, huh? So you wish to die? Yes, if that's what if that's what will satisfy you, then kill me now. Oh, it's Estelise from Vesperia. Kill me. Huh, good girl. Now die. It is such a cool design. Love his hair. Let go! Faye, I won't ever let go. Faye, please return the real Faye, please. What? The power of a waifu is overcoming me? Impossible. Faye, please. This woman. I knew it. Ellie. Damn it. He's awakening, I think. Awakening. I'm sorry. I didn't want to say anything until I was sure. I was on a secret mission by orders of Emperor Cain to monitor Faye. He ordered me to determine whether Faye would be a threat to the world or not. The contact. That is what the Emperor calls Faye. Oh, here we go. One of the coolest, one of my favorite revelations. Just this whole sequence. This is your conclusion? Basically everything from here to the end of Disc 1 at this point. Yes, your majesty. This is the answer I chose for myself. Unknown. I don't know how to pronounce this. You think you can do it? Yes. Humans have the potential. Managers are no longer needed. The contact is not our enemy, then. Yes, as you say, your majesty. If Faye is... then I leave it up to you. I atone for my crime for doing so. Look at all these paintings. Look at them all. I love the symbolic meaning of the paintings because, like, Faye was painting in the beginning in Lahan and everything, and then, like, the paintings, like, have symbolic meanings now. It's kind of neat. The long-awaited man of God who will take the people born into this world with him to a new horizon. Such is the destiny of the contact, aka the Chosen Run. This is what the Emperor called Faye. He didn't tell me why he called Faye that, though. Who the heck is he, then? He is Faye, but he's also the one who destroyed Elru, caused Kar serious injury, sank the Yggdrasil, killed Rico's subordinates in Kislev. Man, Faye has done a lot. Need I continue further? He is... id. What did you say? Id? Thus explaining why Ramses hates him so much, by the way. What do you mean? He, Faye, that is, has dissociative identity disorder. Also known more commonly as multiple personalities. Dissociative identity disorder, or multiple personalities. It's a mental disorder where one person has multiple personalities. That can't be real. Oh, believe it, it's real. Oh, but it's very real. Faye is living proof of that. I've been watching over Faye, who has a destroyer personality within him named Id. In the beginning, he was stable. His dissociation did not occur at all while he lived in Lahan for those 3 years. Man, I bet Faye wishes he can go back to the peaceful days of painting in Lahan. And being with his friends Timothy and... oh, what was her name? Maria? No, Maria is the character we have. Oh, what's her name? Alice, that's her name. I forgot her name for a second. But then, after Lahan was attacked, things changed. Little by little, the number of incidences of his disassociation and their length began to increase. And then at Solaris, a complete manifestation of id occurred. What brought it about? He was fine when he was in Lahan, right? My guess is that the appearance of Graf affected Faye somehow. I actually love this. Like, I really love this. Like, how all these insane events and traumatic experiences, like, awakened id. You probably know that Faye worked with Graf as the assassin id before he was brought to live in Lahan. It was then that Elru, the homeland of Dominia, was utterly obliterated. Graf was intentionally provoking the manifestation of id within, for want of a better word, Faye. Graf was intentionally provoking the manifestation of id within, for of a better word, Faye. Yeah, I just wanted to like reread that sentence because it was worded a little bit weirdly, but for what purpose? To destroy God. That is what Graf was saying. This is all I know, although there might be more to it. But one thing is certain. Graf was encouraging the manifestation of id, but did not have adequate control over him. In other words, it was too much for him to handle. Yes. You said that's all you know, although there might be more to it. Yeah, there always is more to it with Citan, isn't there? What did you mean by that? I shall go on to explain that now. Actually, that's the most important point. And this is actually a really nice story thing they did, because remember when Citan was basically insulting Faye there and he awakened id, now they're going to show us Citan and id's conversation, which is a really good way to do it, how they faded to black and now we get to see it here. There's nothing you can do. Yeah, and this is what happened after the black screen. You understand well, just as I expected, Citan, or was it Doc? I've been wanting to meet you, id. I wanted to talk with you. I guess it's all due to this machine which cuts the nerve connections. Anyway, what's Faye doing as of now? Faye? Which Faye do you mean? Which? There's more than one? Id? The one you call Faye is asleep. Sleeping. When I'm awake, he sleeps. That's why he has no memory of what I do. Yeah, but he still fades in and out every now and then. Why does he not know? It's obvious. He's my subordinate. He cannot peer into my memories. He should not, in actuality, even exist. That man forcibly created his personality. Faye is a tenant in the room of cowardice. That man. Our father, Khan. He sealed up my personality in the deepest recesses of my consciousness. For some inexplicable reason, that is when the present Faye was born. When you said cowardice, what did you mean? Why ask about him? You think you can do something? It's rare to be able to talk to a real schizophrenic. As a scholar, I'm extremely intrigued. I also love this music in the background. With friends like you, huh, Doctor? I like you, Citan, but he's insignificant. After all, he's just a failure. A coward like him doesn't deserve to be Faye's existence. A pathetic one who has always fled from reality. He never did one thing against me when I controlled him. This also really checks out Faye's earlier actions in the game and, like, why Faye was hesitant on, like, finding a reason to fight, why he just didn't want to do battle. Not only, like, was it traumatic just to see what happened to Lahan Village, but, like, this whole thing of, like, Faye not being stable and, like, Faye's mind being in a different, like, state than everyone else is, like, it starts to check out here when you hear all this with id. And, like, Faye being a coward. Like, Faye representing the coward side and id being the opposite. A coward who refused to live. He should have been erased, but he continues to exist. Why won't he disappear? Because he's the contact and he's needed to kill God or something? Damn it, it makes my skin crawl just being in the same body as him. Let's change the subject. I would like to know how and why your personalities were split. Since you're the one in control, I would assume you know the story. Normally, personalities do not split as they did with you, unless there's some sort of past trauma. You want me to talk about my memories? Don't misunderstand. I haven't given you the right to question me. Just because I'm held down by this machine, don't push your like. Citan literally intentionally summoned you just to learn about you. Like, I don't think Citan's gonna give up that easily. Just saying. He's formidable if nothing else. If I really wanted to, I could break the restraints and crush you. Don't you forget it. Then why not do it? Shall I tell you why? You do not have complete control over Faye, do you? Your control of him is incomplete. To break those bonds would require a tremendous amount of mental energy. Having used up your energy, Faye would return again. Basically, you would have to leave the stage. Obviously, the day you'd be able to return is indeterminate, hence you will not do it. Am I mistaken? So you know me too well. I don't have complete. What's wrong, id? You forced me on stage. He's waking. Under normal circumstances, I would have been able to hold on. But I can't. This is all that woman's fault. Her existence makes Faye resistant. I wonder what woman you're talking about. You mean Ellie? Yeah, that would check out, you know? Ellie is my wife after all. That woman. The same. Everyone must eliminate. I do not understand, id. You don't need to understand. When the time comes, just take it as it comes. Reality and death. This is the devs to Xenogears players who don't read perfect works. I'll eventually get to you, be seeing ya. The emotional portion of Faye's present personality was sealed up by his father through some method. And now with the clear foundation of id's personality, in computer terms, it's like constructing a mock personality on top of the compatible portion of the OS. That's the reason Faye has no memory of his past. Those 10 or so years of memories are under the supervision of id. As long as id does not willingly hand over the memories, there's no way for Faye to know, since he did not even exist before the time id was sealed up. The present Faye's personality is an underdeveloped one, which was built upon within. This, I also really like this. This is what I was getting on with when I said his mind wasn't stable. I kind of skipped ahead a bit, but Faye's personality is underdeveloped, which you really start to, like, earlier in the game, you picture it as, like, why is Faye so stupid? Why is he such a coward? Why does he, like, not want to fight? And why does he hesitate when finding a reason to fight? But this sentence right here, like, if you look at this sentence and you think back to, like, Faye's earlier character moments, like, it starts to check out, basically. How Faye's mind is, like, underdeveloped compared to how old he is. It's really fascinating. 3 years of living in Lahan, studying and acquiring other people's reactions, hence he does not know how to fully cope with sudden or emotional situations. Yeah, like, basically he's unstable. Ellie, you're the one who spent the most time with Faye, so I would assume you would understand this. By the way, the elephant in the room, this game adopts some psychological themes, and one of them is Sigmund Freud, which I believe is id, ego, and superego. So, it's just super fascinating. Were there not times when he would be psychologically unstable? For example, he would be manically depressive and then have sudden fits of rage. Yes. Then his present personality is but only a temporary one? That's not what I'm saying. The present Faye is one single personality. It's just that structure-wise, his personality was constructed on top of id, hence placing Faye at a lower hierarchy. That's why when id is active, Faye has no recollection of it. And that means he might eventually be overtaken by id. Eventually. Yes, if it were only id and Faye, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It only manifests when Faye's mental energy is in a weakened state. It's a mystery in itself that the lower level personality of Faye has any control over the upper level personality of id. It's obvious that there exists a third personality. Id calls this existence the coward. In my observation, this coward may be the fundamental personality of Faye. In other words, id's manifestation is not controlled by Faye. Its manifestation is not controlled by Faye, but it's controlled by personality known as the coward. And that means what? At the same time, id resents this coward, also obviously fears it. He also obviously fears it, is what that said. From a certain point of view, this coward is the one assisting in keeping the present Fae in control. I do not know the reason why this third personality, Fae's fundamental personality does not come out. If this one awakens, it will become one with id. In other words, there's a possibility that's a complete original personality that may be restored. Is that for sure? Probably, but I do not know how to awaken it. Before I had the opportunity, id disappeared and he has been like that since. Basically, as long as nothing happens to Fae that would channel his existence, Fae can be himself. But his surroundings do not allow him that opportunity. It would be best for him to live in a place that's peaceful. Yeah, like Lahan, which is not peaceful anymore. That is Lacan. No, the Dark One. Graf's second advent. We must restrain and seal him up, otherwise we don't know what may occur. Cease this at once. May we at least wait for Wiseman to return before we make any resolutions? Although a tactician, why do you place so much importance on him? I've been silent all this time since Khan's death, since he was directly recruited by the Queen. Man, you got Khan and then you got Kar, which is Ramses' first name. It's easy to mix them up. However, I question why you would use such a person whose principles lack any understanding of sacrifice. Well, that is... You must look at reality, the existence of that power. Hold on. What's this Graf's second advent? The day of the collapse was brought upon by Graf. Graf manipulated Diabolos into destroying the world. And that power within it is far too similar to Graf's. We cannot allow such a hazard to be set free. We ought to immediately freeze him in carbonite, otherwise expect the worst at any moment. No, but isn't the present Fae the real Fae? If that's the case, then why? But he's still far too dangerous. Think about it. He single-handedly annihilated the Solaris capital. We can't set him free. Not only that, in the past there were countless other cities that were destroyed by id. I don't know their intentions, but Graf and Krelium were always involved somehow. And one of those incidents was Elru. It was Dominion's homeland. Solaris' purging of the rebelling city of Elru was done through the use of id, to test his capabilities. As a result, not only was Elru taken down, all the Solaris units present were wiped out. He's responsible for the Iggs and ours? So he was the one who killed my subordinates in the sewers. What's wrong with you all? Aren't we supposed to be his friends? It appears everyone else is in agreement. Risks are just too great. Satan. No, that's terrible. Well, you know, Satan did, like, forcibly bring about id and hurt Faye in a way with words just to talk to him, so I think Satan has a lot of sins that he has to atone for. It's decided then. He will be scheduled for carbon freezing tomorrow. I heard about it from id. Who would have ever thought within me lies another me? You're the same Fae I've always known. You return to your old self. Please don't be obsessed with it. They say I'm the second advent of Graf, the one who destroyed all of this world. It seems Graf used to be a land dweller named Lacan. You're not thinking about what they're saying. You're just confused by your powers. Graf called me the one who would destroy God. In a way, I can understand what he means now. Though my id power isn't good enough if it has the same quality as Graf's eye. Let's escape. If Graf or the war brings out id, let's go to a place where no wars exist. You did that, you be. That's alright. I don't have a place to go back either. Thanks, Ellie, but no. Even if I left the battlefield, there's no guarantee that it'll never appear again. Besides, I tried to kill you. You're still okay with that? Then you could have killed me if you really wanted to, right? The other you, id's power is nothing like that, but you still didn't go through with it. You knew when it was enough. Isn't that because your will was in effect? If you're to be controlled by id and all those around you became your enemies, I'd still be by your side. Because I know it's lonely to be by yourself.